Hi, I'm Mrs. Greno. I'm going to be your online math teacher for your online math course with Kenosha eSchool. So I wanted to welcome you and just give you a brief overview of the course before you kind of jump in and make sure there's some getting started information and kind of the first things you want to make sure that you do to make sure that you're successful here with us earning your credit. Before I get started with that, I just wanted to introduce also just kind of show you a little bit about myself here. So I've been with eSchool for a while teaching online math. My family, I have three kids, and so they all are part of Kenosha School District. My oldest is an eighth grader at Mahone, Bella. My middle one is Gianna. She's a fifth grader at Nash Elementary, and then you can see she loves her brother. And then my youngest one is Jackson. He is a third grader also at Nash Elementary. So outside of teaching these school and helping you guys out, they are a big part of my life, running around doing all their activities and stuff that they're involved in. So jumping right into your course here, if we take a look at that, you are in Algebra 1, Segment 1. So the theme kind of for this course is Mission Impossible. So that little backstory in that is this past summer, that was my family really got into all the Mission Impossible movies, and then obviously the latest one that came out. So I thought, how cool would that be just to kind of set up the course in that fashion and kind of follow that you're trying to basically complete each of these missions, the last one being your final exam, passing that and earning your credit that way. So this first part is just the beginning, the landing page we call it. So really just some general information kind of shooting you off to what you should be looking at on the left-hand side with your course module folders. Please take a look at this academic integrity policy. This is for all of Kenosha eSchool and all eSchool courses regarding plagiarism and copying and understanding what that means in an online environment. So for a math course, that would mean making sure that you are not Googling or searching for answers to questions, copying and pasting those right into an assignment. Obviously, that is in violation of that policy and the consequences would follow. And we really want you to be successful and make sure that you're learning this stuff, because that kind of all comes into play then at the end for the final exam, in which you have to earn credits. You're taking the final exam at eSchool. You are allowed to use notes for my eSchool math finals, but you still have to know, right? You still have to learn and be able to show what you learned on it, and copying is not going to get you there. So first and foremost, you want to prepare for the mission, right? So we want you to go into the welcome folder. So if you click on that, you want to take a look at the course expectations document. That should be attached to your welcome email that you received, but make sure that you've read through all of these main important topics, and that's going to be important to be able to do your first assignment. Okay, first assignment of mission 0. So as you go through here again, this might be a document too that you might want to print off for yourself, for your parents to take a look at. But as we kind of scroll through here, I'm just going to highlight the topics of it. Obviously, my recommendation, kind of like top things you want to make sure that you're doing to be successful, just from what I've learned being an online teacher, and specifically math, you know, what works well with doing an online math course, which sometimes can be a challenge in and of itself. As you read through that, progress reports, touching base on that, those will be emailed out to you and your parents on a pretty regular basis. Pace charts, so that is your due dates. So your due dates are listed in your gradebook and what's expected. So you do need to turn in at least an assignment every week to be considered attending your online math course. So make sure you understand our attendance policy there. Discussion-based assessments, we'll be doing those every module. That's where you and I get a chance to talk over the phone or meet on Blackboard Collaborate, which is our online kind of classroom, to just make sure that you're prepared to kind of be moving through the modules, kind of our one-on-one check for sure every module. So touching base on those. Discussing your grade book, right? Always reviewing your grade book, taking a look at that. Late work policy. Here explains how to resubmit work. So making sure that you understand when you see an arrow in your grade book, that means you have to resubmit an assignment. But also knowing that, understanding that you can make corrections on other things. So there'll be test corrections and other opportunities to resubmit assignments outside of those that I'm requiring. So I want this to be kind of like a cyclical process where you're constantly reviewing and going back and taking a look at your mistakes and taking those opportunities to resubmit work. Because in the end, my goal is that when it comes to the final, that you're prepared, that at the end of the course is when you learn it. So maybe you didn't learn it the first time you did the assignment or even right after the module test, but that doesn't mean we're done with it, okay? And that kind of goes right with checking feedback. So that's a huge thing with math courses, online math courses, because we're not face to face. That when you complete an assignment, that it's not just a checkbox, I'm done with it, I turned it in no matter what you got, but you are going into your grade book, you are going into your feedback and looking at the problems you got wrong and looking at what I wrote to you. So I try to make it really personal, with what you specifically maybe have not mastered yet, whether I'm giving you a video, whether I'm telling you what you did wrong, whether I'm telling you what you should resubmit, that you're just seeing that you're not missing that. So you're not just going down your to-do list of work you need to do. So that's there. Math binder, obviously making sure you have a notebook and setting it up with that. And lastly, final exam. So our final exam policy, that you do understand you have to pass your final exam. So if it's a two-part final, the average of those two parts are 60% or higher in order to earn credit. And that is taken at eSchool. And that doesn't matter what your overall grade is. So that's really important because that kind of validates that you have learned the coursework, whether you're doing it at home, wherever you're working, or whatever support you're getting, making sure that you are the one that has learned enough to earn that credit. So that's course expectation. So that's number one. Make sure that you understand that completely, because you're going to need that for that first assignment. Second thing for Algebra 1 is make sure you get a printed copy. So this is the lesson summaries. So if I could hand you one thing kind of on that first day of class, this is what I would hand you. It's a PDF, and basically at the end of every lesson throughout this whole course, there was a little lesson summary. I condensed it into one document, so it is a little bit hefty. But get a printed copy of this, stick it right in your blank notebook, and those are the two things I need you to have as you work through. And that's going to be one of the first questions I'm going to ask you when we start to work together, is that if you have a printed copy of this. If you have a problem getting a printed copy, please let me know. I'll definitely help you out with that. I have copies printed at the eSchool. You can stop by there at any time and pick up a copy, or come in the lab and print out your own copy with that. So lesson summary packets. So those two things. Here, this next thing is math mindset, so definitely read through it. This is just going to get you started off on the right foot, just in terms of no matter what your experience is coming up to this point with this course, that we're going to work with you, and I'm going to work with you to make sure that you feel successful. So kind of getting you kind of in that right mind frame as you work through an online course. And this checklist of habits is a good thing to kind of always come back to. Like, am I doing this? Do you know what I mean? If I'm struggling, am I doing all these things that's listed there? So that's a good reflection component that we'll kind of talk about as you work throughout the course. And this last one is course information, more just very general for the whole course. So if you have any more specific questions, you can definitely follow up with me. So that's your welcome folder. Next is your math help folder. So going through all of these, understanding that as you need help, this is a good place to come back to. Blackboard Collaborate is the link here that you can go to meet one-on-one with me online. So it's kind of like our online classroom. Other option besides Blackboard Collaborate is we could also use other things such as Google Hangouts, or if we needed to meet. So you're at your house, I'm here to give us that opportunity kind of for that real-time meeting, getting help with it. So that is super useful. So it's definitely something I'd ask you to take advantage of. Regarding that though, I am on Blackboard, so I have like office hours. So I work remotely, so I'm not at eSchool every day. I'm only actually at eSchool on Wednesdays from 1 to 3, so I have office hours at that point. I'm in the lab, so if that works with your schedule and you want to come in, you can work in the lab with me at that time. Obviously, this doesn't work for everybody's schedule. And that's where Blackboard Collaborate or some other type of Google Hangouts is where we could use then based on your schedule and my schedule to set up. So basically by appointment to meet on Blackboard Collaborate if you need more one-on-one help. I am on Blackboard Collaborate, so just hanging out in Blackboard Collaborate from Tuesdays from 9 to 10 a.m. So that is if you need help and you can have access to Blackboard, you can just jump in. You don't even have to let me know. You could ask a question kind of in real time, and it has a whiteboard so I can work out problems. I can pull up my screen, I can pull up your screen, whatever works, just to work through it. This also is a reminder, check your course announcements. So one of my kind of main points of contact, or kind of to share more about me on a weekly basis, is your course announcement. So every week on Monday, I post a new course announcement, and it really gives you my schedule for the week. So maybe I'm in meetings or I'm at a conference all day on that Thursday. That's where you can see my availability. And then I also give just a little bit of information about myself, and then maybe a little some more information for yourself about your course for that week. So definitely check those out every week. I try to update those. How to type math. So as you are, doing an assignment on a Google Doc, right? Making sure you're sharing that Google Doc with me when you submit it. Or you're actually doing it in an assessment in Buzz, right? So Buzz is what our course is in. It's an essay box, and you're trying to type out the square root of 21, understanding that you have keys to help you type that. Other than if you have a lot of questions with this, I'm pretty flexible with how you type the math out, but definitely follow up with me if this video isn't enough. And then some more online math resources. The last thing here that I'm just going to overview, as you get started here is that module 0, so that getting started assignment. So this is what has to be done before you're going to have access to the actual course. So modules or missions, right, 1 through 5. And that is a pre-course survey. So I need you to go to this Google form and fill it out in its entirety. So this is really important that you and I just kind of get to know each other. So filling this all out. And the key here is that once you fill out this Google form at the end and you submit the Google form, there will be a password. So make sure that you write that down or take note of that. That password, which kind of goes along with, right, the Mission Impossible, your access will give you access or the code to this first assignment. So this is the first assignment you have to complete before you can even jump to any of this other information. So you can see here it reminds you go through the welcome folder. Again, course expectations is the main thing there. And then get the password after you do your pre-course survey. And when you hit start, you can go ahead and enter that password in. Okay, and then the assignment is not difficult. It's not specifically math. It's more, again, off the course expectations. And really making sure you understand all the main highlighted points from that document before you get started. And then the final thing in Module 0, again, your first assignment, accepting the mission, is to kind of join the team, right? So kind of a fun thing that I have here is for you to make your own avatar. So you can see here is mine. You can go to this website. The directions are listed here. You can create your own. You can download it. And then you're going to come to this Padlet. It pops right up for me because I've been in it already, but if you need a password, when you first click on this, you would type eSchool, and then you should see our brick background here, and then you're just able to go ahead and add your own post here, your avatar to it. So take that opportunity to write a title, your name, whatever you want to write here, something with it, and then go ahead and upload your avatar. So we'll kind of build our algebra team as we work throughout the school year, and this may pop up later on throughout the course. So that's the initial overview of it. Obviously, once you're in the course, the math part of it, modules 1 through 5 and the final, will be explained a little bit more. So looking forward to talking to you, to working with you, and please reach out to me, stay in touch. We talk, we text, we email on a regular basis, and we'll see you soon.